Hello and welcome back one more time for the OWCS Stage 3 main event, day number 1 of 4 full days of action. We're currently on that last match of the day in the NA region, the second elimination match of the day. I'm pumped for this one. How are you guys feeling?
I'm too pumped.
You do not sound pumped. You sound so many things but pumped.
Are you pumped?
I'm excited, actually. I think this will be a fun one.
Actually.
I think this could be a competitive match. Both teams look respectable in the group, right? But both trying to break into that next echelon of play. I think maybe FluffyDreamland having the more compelling group stage performance, but in an easier group, so hard to compare.
Yeah, I mean, FluffyDreamland, let's talk about those two rosters. Fluffy Dreamland, I got there eventually. Great rebrand coming from Fluffy Aimers. They revamped the logo too. Now it's
That's
happy.
beautiful.
It's
Do
a
you
happy
sell
blue.
merch?
I mean,
need
if not,
merch.
then you're missing out on like
I don't know why.
money grabbing opportunity.
You know, I don't know.
I know why. They know their audience.
That would go
they
great
know exactly
on
what they're doing.
like a dad baseball cap.
Dad baseball cup with that one?
Cool.
I go.
I would rock it.
I need a crop top. Make it happen.
Wow, there you
He
go.
too needs a crop top.
Yeah, make it happen.
Make a men's crop top.
Would I wear it?
Honest-
I don't know.
You
Maybe.
should.
It's worth sending
Danny
one.
can rock a crop top like no other man ever.
Okay, well, I got some more
throwing it out
belly
there.
than Danny.
What?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Well, you're
let's
telling
take a
me
look
I
at
have
the
to
roster.
wear it.
It's true. That's
All
true.
right.
Okay, let's take a look at the roster to distract ourselves from the imagery of Johnny in a crop top.
All right.
We're looking at that roster. Who do we know? Who do we love? I'm personally a huge fan of Chime. He's a NA Contenders warlord.
Great, yeah.
So big fan, big fan.
I'm not a big fan of the fact that Chime is using Mercy, because in reality,
Hey.
Chime will be playing Tracer all the time. Haven, you're not playing Road Dogg. What are you doing? Astro, of course, coming from Team Canada 2023. There you go. Might recognize that name as well. And Grapes, Fisher College. Grapes, if you've been following Collegiate, you'll recognize
I love that
Grapes.
you're trying to sell me on all the plays on grapes. Are you on grapes?
Well, you're asking me just like who
Distracting,
will
I
recognize,
did
and
ask.
there you go. I think Astro could be a standout this match. Can play all different roles, play Winston, Ram, and Sigma in their last matchup.
Well, Timeless Ethereal certainly not lacking the depth in their hero pools either. I mean, especially the DPS lineup stood out for me. Bun and X10 are they're fragging out. Bun, she's my favorite. I'm a huge Bun fan. All of that, all of the above.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Bun and X10 are definitely the players I have my eyes on the most in this team. But I think where they really shine is in the team coordination. I think this is a team that's been together for a long time, longer than most of the teams in this tournament. And so they have the experience playing together. Of course, it's always new patches, new metas, so it doesn't always fully translate. But there is that level of understanding, communication. Those things don't necessarily go away. So this is a team that I think relying on that experience together could potentially go far. And in what I expect, we all expect to be a very close competitive series, I think that can be an edge. However, I think they might have to overcome just the raw power of players like Haven and Chime, who I think are really, really strong DPS in their own right. Maybe a lot of the series can kind of, as much as I talk about team chemistry, you need that raw firepower and DPS. If the duels are coming up one way, it's going to lead that team to victory. And so I think, honestly, all eyes on the DPS in the server today.
Those Preds don't feel right.
Why?
I seriously.
Hey!
Like it is it should be a 50-50 series.
50-50. Should it be, though? I hate my own Pred at this point.
Okay,
because
where do you want to change
FluffyDreamland,
it?
they beat out Shikigami
Yes.
and Citrus Nightmare to top the group. And now we're predicting them to go down in the first loser bracket round. I feel like that's pretty disrespectful based on what we just saw from Citrus Nightmare beating TSM. FluffyDreamland is...
So you want
I
to
learned
flip
this
it?
word the last stage.
You want FluffyDreamland to win?
By
By the transitive property.
Transitive properties. Getting
FluffyDreamland
there.
should be the better team here, and so I feel disrespectful. I apologize. I'd like to apologize to the entire FluffyDreamland
Why?
staff, or what? Yeah, you people.
So you
I respect you. I promise.
But he's not predding you. I
would
promise.
pred you if I knew what
He has
these
not
guys
predded
were
you
gonna do
though,
wrong.
and that's
I'll
the
do wrong.
fact. Well, maybe they come out on top, maybe they're not. We're about
Please
to
send me
find
merch.
out. Last decider match of the day. Let's send it over to our casters.
Oh, thanks for getting us out of that
was
segment.
trying.
I don't even
love
know.
that Johnny's like, I would pred
I don't even
differently
know.
if I knew what the other guys were predding. It's got nothing to do with how
Yeah.
good he thinks FluffyDreamland are going to be, really.
Yeah, I would have predicted differently if I could have made a scripted hot take with my prediction and then also pick the other team at the same time.
He's on. He does have a good point, though. I mean, that group that FluffyDreamland topped, not only just got out of topped, was pretty treacherous. Shikigami are like taking everybody to 5 maps.
so-
And Citrus Nightmare are a quality squad we've just seen what they were able to do with the previous series.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the argument would be is like Citrus Nightmares playing like a ball style of play, which like not a lot of people do, and TSM just kind of like, you know, beefed it and like didn't really understand, I mean, I guess how to play against it. I mean, because like you look at the group with FluffyDreamland and Citrus Nightmare, right? No, Citrus Nightmare Shikigami went to game 5. Like Citrus Nightmare though only took a map off of FluffyDreamland. I mean, it was the group, but then you know, Shikigami went to game 5 with FluffyDreamland. I mean, the group was all over the place, and I would not say it was like as difficult as some of the other groups. Now, Timeless Ethereal though, right? Like, didn't have the toughest group either. They actually, you know, after dropping the first game to Avidity, they actually go on to, you know, 3-0 Absolution and 3-0 Avidity in a rematch, right? So they've been on fire, a little bit of heater as of late. Bun was phenomenal, you know, against Avidity in their rematch to, you know, get to this point. So excited to see Bun play yet again. It's a pretty greedy backline though to kick things off. Jake and I were talking about this, you know, a lot last week. You know, playing the Alari with the Ana, it is very greedy.
But it does the deeps. Halo flattens Astro.
Does that though?
As the literally the Winston gets a little bit too close to the sun. Halo able to play back pretty safely. Sawhill eats up Chime. FluffyDreamland really try and take a fight inside that small room, but maybe underestimated the potential of that healing pylon, as Timeless Ethereal can just hang there for so long, and there's no way to really clear that at all. So Sawhill able to push up here. Have a cap care of Bun.
Well, I think it'll be a little bit of a test for FluffyDreamland, right? Like, if you're not able to, you know, punish the Alari pick, right? It feels like with Alari Ash, you're just going to get picked, you know, just dominated that range, right? Halo finds another pick here on the Astro, so no tank in the way here for FluffyDreamland. It'll be difficult to kind of take the point back.
Chime able to get a direct there, nicely done. Bun forced to back up a little bit. It's going to be a nano over towards Sawhill. They are looking for the Ana. Probably able to back away though, and Sawhill ultimately charges up towards a primal, and this is still Timeless Ethereal in control of the point, mind you, so that will be paying dividends in a moment. FluffyDreamland have not really been able to penetrate the map.
So you can play aggressive here if you're Timeless Ethereal. You can play behind Halo's Captive Sun and then kind of use all that Winston damage to kind of cleave up. They do lose X10 here, which is quite tough.
There it is, Soil.
Oh, and Soil
Timeless
too.
Ethereal try and sort of break into that small room and take a close fight, but it doesn't pay off. You saw how effective that Ana healing was defensively. Proto able to keep all of FluffyDreamland very healthy despite that level of pressure. So, bit of a reset here for Timeless Ethereal. They gonna have to try and find a way to get a decent Yari pylon value and also get this primal right where it needs to be.
Justice.
Yeah, Bun is really deep here, as that'll be a barrage there that just gets dealt with rather quickly, as Astro now with the primal in the spawn will deal with X10, but Sawhill is using the primal on the other side of things.
To see.
Bun, she's got a rocket barrage of her own, and that's quickly traded out.
Able to punish her there. It's not clear to see what Sawhill was looking for with the primal. There's so much of Ethereal really split up there. Astro feeling the burn here from this Yari pressure, but eventually Halo finds that she's in no man's land, essentially. Caught out there. All right, 40 and counting here for FluffyDreamland. They have main control.
2 kills here towards the end, though, for Timeless Ethereal. You get the kill with the Bob, and then you also do have Sawhill alive. So, but I mean, with, you know, Graves with the rally, I mean, this is where, like, not having the, you know, having the Alari, like, you don't have a rally here to kind of, like, fight in these types of positions.
Gets picked off. The Ana, I think, was coming back off respawn and got caught out. Rally on the point, though, is big. Captive Sun used here on Astro. They're trying to get away before that detonates, and so they do. They slink out off the point. Here comes Bob here. Great position for that to be deployed in. Nowhere to really go if you get caught out by him there. Sawhill, they're not able to sort of tread a very fine line there between contesting the point and also fighting FluffyDreamland now at 76 and counting. They have not lost control since they've gained it. Timeless Ethereal don't have many options here to throw an ultimate into the mix and break the tempo up.
No, not at all. I mean, not a speedy comp by any sense of things, right? So just gonna kind of have to throw somebody at the point as Scuff takes a big shot there coming out of the spawn.
You're so low.
It'll be Bunch. She'll get on, get a touch.
Now in the bubble, you see, look at the positioning of the healers on Timeless Ethereal as opposed to where Sawhill was. They were on an island. Scup trying to back away here, but the pressure's going to be too much. Grapes and Haven run them down. And it was really Bunch. He had no choice but to try and contest. And it'll be FluffyDreamland with his first round take on Lijiang Tower.
Yes, once they were able to get control of it, the point, they don't relent, right? They just play great from there on out. I think at the beginning, it was very difficult to kind of take advantage of the Alari on the other side of things, but once they got in a rhythm, FluffyDreamland were able to do that with ease. So see what happens here. Some changes potentially across the board, really, for both teams.
Chad Reinhardt, question mark? Against the Orisa, that is a tough ask for Ryan, as they often spend their time out in the open, getting that shield whittled down by the Fusion driver. That does seem to be the plan here. So Ash with that Reinhardt, obviously the Baptiste, great for those static front lines. You'll see FluffyDreamland boasting a setup of their own there. Ha! Torbjorn. I don't like the DPS matchup much for the Torbjorn here. Let's see what Haven can do.
Our king.
Our king. We stand a short king. No, don't you dare.
Yup, go with the hammer. No.
I mean, no one wants to see that.
Torb obviously like pretty strong against flankers. I'm not exactly sure, like, you know, the Torb on the flank here against the far is going to pay off. Next Haven will end up falling.
Switch. All right. Soil, though, they were very low at the start of that fight. They're trying to charge away, I think, while FluffyDreamland able to really focus them down. So, yes, it will be a switch to the Sojourn May setup here for Fluffy.
My short brethren only has a brief stint here.
Only a short stint. That would have been so easy. Soil push back here by the Javelin spin. Haven playing pretty far towards the front line. The main wall behind them kind of priced them into the fight, but X10 gets picked up by Chime. Can Haven win the 1v1? Well, it's not. Grapes gets involved there, interrupts the duel. And this is not really a great spot to be for Soil as they get thrown into the blender.
No, I think you may have to move away from this, like, Reinhardt, Reinhardt, and, you know, even the far, it's really difficult to get the far in position here to, you know, make plays.
Main's too punishing for the Ryan on this map. The walls are just devastating. And Matrix here, X10. She's got to be quick about it. Yep. Either stand out in the open and get shot, or let the Orisa come to call. She didn't have any option either way. Soil, they've basically been at negative health for most of this round on this intensive level of scrutiny. And that's trying with a nice block after the elimination on Soil.
FluffyDreamland playing so fast. That's going to be Bun's barrage. It doesn't really get much of anything either here. So FluffyDreamland sending a statement here early on.
Ryan out of the spawn again. Soil is committed to the cause. A long way from Shatter. Wall gets thrown up now, breaks it up a little bit. Here comes Astro charging in. Terror Surge as well being deployed. Dangerous times. Little May Wall, an attempt to cut off the Orisa. Broken through basically instantly, but X10's able to deal with the Orisa. Astro could not escape. Soundberry here for Grapes. No opportunity to use it. The May Wall might have broken it up anyway. Soil now trying to charge up on this. Should be a Timeless Ethereal point take, but losing X10 hurts. Okay, Proto, fair enough.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're going to lose the rest of the players here for FluffyDreamland as well, right? So you will get a full flip here for Timeless Ethereal. They get control of the point, but I mean, it is not easy. FluffyDreamland basically in the spawn for the first, 2 minutes of the round. So we'll see where Timeless Ethereal, they're giving up a lot of space here, Mitch, right? They're not really like playing exactly at that choke. Like I know with the May really like kind of forcing the issue. They back up a bit. This is going to be an overclock here. And look at this Chime on the flank here with Haven.
The double DPS here. And Matrix also going to be thrown up to facilitate for this, and a sound barrier for FluffyDreamland. They have an embarrassment of riches now. And there's not a whole lot Timeless Ethereal can do. Soil mode over. They might not have a chance to even get a good shatter here, especially now with the staggering that is being conducted.
Oh, that is a sick javelin.
X10 got picked off there. Scuffed also falls. And yeah, Soil, they might return to the fray at some point or another, but they've gone the long way around. They get back to the point. Grapes looking to sort of pressure that Ryan a little bit, but it was really just a one-person army. And that will be that pretty much over as soon as it began for the Reinhardt at the very least. And that is it. First map in favor of FluffyDreamland, and Timeless Ethereal had such a good start. They were on night market. They legitimately looked very good with what you called a pretty greedy backline, right? Anna and Iari. Obviously, they were getting great value out of that healing pylon inside the side room, but eventually they get run down. And on Control Center, gap, really. The Ryan struggled to find that impact.
Yeah, once FluffyDreamland, got control of the first point, really from then on out, even into the second round, they were just dominant. A lot of like interesting kind of flanks, like Haven and Chime. I think they kind of did the tour at the beginning. Be sure, why not? Maybe there's like a tracer on the other side they want to do. Sure,
why not? That's fine.
No, not unreasonable, but they quickly move over and play the Sojourn, which ends up working out much better. I do think though, I think you can't really play the on Illari like a lot anymore. I think it's something that we saw a decent amount in the previous patches, right? I think yeah, we've seen Bap Illari do as well. I just think the Illari at this point, Brig is so good, even Kiri and Lucio as well, that even with the Lucio damage, right? I know adding a little bit of extra damage, there's just a little bit of better options to go with the Ana.
Maywell, they're being devastatingly effective. So much so that eventually Timeless Ethereal switched over to one of their own after they realized that the Pharah wasn't really cutting it. And there were some opportunities there, and they did leverage the Maywell pretty effectively to catch out the Orisa. Pretty customary in these sort of rush mirrors. Or at least these very similar styles from both sides there, but eventually it's just a little bit too much for Timeless Ethereal to deal with. And this is a FluffyDreamland that fought out of a pretty treacherous group and managed to do so in first place. Obviously, to find them here in the lower bracket so early, it was a reckoning. There are some really scary groups with some excellent teams coming out of those. But here, first map under their belt and a chance, of course, to continue fighting in lowers, just what they were looking for. And honestly, the Des called a pretty close game. They called a 5-map matchup between these two teams. So far, though, FluffyDreamland look a cut above.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see where Timeless Ethereal take us in this series with their map selection. FluffyDreamland, though, they did look really strong there in map number 1. I think with stats, you're going to see big performances like this. When it's especially that round 2 was pretty lopsided.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think that they fight themselves into a little bit of a corner. That's Timeless Ethereal with their choice of comp. And as you notice, they're forced to switch off of it a little bit later in the round and still can't find a decent sticking point. But here's your map pool. So again, loser pick in this series. So Timeless Ethereal can select, of course, between these 13 maps over 4 game types. And if the preference here is to play those rush compositions, in theory, then there's plenty of those. But we've actually seen these teams play both Dive and Rush so far over just that first map.
So against NRG, I believe they win Paraíso and then Suravasa in terms of their map selections. Curious if we kind of see, FluffyDreamland played Paraíso against Timeless as well. So maybe that's a map that Timeless Ethereal feels like they could potentially go to, have a little bit of an impact. But it is something that we just saw FluffyDreamland play. They end up, both teams end up losing round 1 3-0, so you can't really take much from those series. But I mean, Paraíso seems like it could be an option.
Obviously, a great Winston map, right? It also opens up the Ashe play, also some Echo opportunity, and plenty of Tracer mixed in, which is probably going to be a tantalizing prospect for someone like Chime, who's basically been on that hero for much of the run through so far. And again, this is do or die already. We are in a double elimination tournament in this best of 5 game, and we are in the lower bracket. So already we are sending teams home to here in day 1 of our main event. We've still got 3 more days to come, of course, and we're going to be looking at our teams in the upper bracket fight their way through, and also following the stories of our teams potentially facing elimination. Just prior, we saw TSM knocked out in the first round. TSM getting knocked out in the first round.
Yeah, I like the way you said that. Yeah, that was good.
Emphasize that phrase, because it is surprising. They in the past have managed to make it a little bit further. Now, Matt, you're
I mean, sadly, it's not becoming surprising with them, but yeah.
They had a little bit of they've had better runs in the past. We'll sort of leave it at that. But it's funny, their misfortune actually began as that then Timeless team got picked up by TSM, and that's when all of a sudden they really started to struggle. But the whole rest of this,
well, dude, stage 1 they were in the finals, right?
They were.
I mean, Paraíso, look at that.
The Wizard himself, Matthew Morello.
The Wizard. Yeah. No, I mean, I just had
his monitor next to him.
I just had access to my monitor, which had what they just played. So I figure Paraíso was an option. Really good, like you mentioned, really good Winston map, right? So Sawhill, fantastic on the hero, so can kind of unleash some of that ability.
But we've seen both teams prefer to go to its map. So might be something that Timeless Ethereal are aware of. This will be familiar territory here for FluffyDreamland. And again, this is a first to 3, otherwise known as a best of 5 series. And on defense, we already see so Tracer Echo, or Ash rather, for Haven, alongside that Winston dive comp. So it will be the Ana and Brig setup here. Timeless Ethereal will probably go for something fairly similar.
Was it X10 on the Widow would be quite special. Phenomenal hit scan potential. And then the other day when we were casting...
the grapple shot, stop.
No, hey, we see grapple shots be pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, okay.
We saw one already today.
Yes,
pop off.
That was Lep, obviously, playing around the clock tower.
Yep, no clock tower here, but I believe in X10.
All right. One can
Watch
still tell
this.
the time and power Izzo, it's time to rumble. Okay, dude, really? Oh, she's just torn Chime's head off. Beautiful opener.
Dude,
Shut up. No.
I am seeing the future.
Shut up. Actually, stop. I'm not giving you this.
Don't tell me to. What do you mean? You're not giving me this. I just said, watch this, and then it happened.
Stop talking. All right, X10 forced into the recall here. Great opener, of course, for Timeless Ethereal, and then looking, of course, to convert it into a quick point taken so far. Whoa, wasn't looking too bad, but Soil, they overextend just a little too far. They get picked off by 4 players, just throwing everything at them, and that early burst of impetus and momentum Timeless Ethereal built, unfortunately, is fizzled.
Yes, and they don't even get a tick, right? I do think, though, like, there's really not much you do there, right? I know Soil has to go in and play aggressive quite deep, and it's just a lot of damage that's coming back on the other side. So you end up losing the Winston. It's a pretty tough scenario. Nice dynamite and a really nice whip shot there from Grapes, knocking himself down a little.
See how important it is to be proactive on this defense side, right? You miss up so much opportunity for early poke damage against a dive comp if you just play in that back corner of the map where the card emerges from. So this is FluffyDreamland getting forward, playing, on the front line essentially, getting the most out of this, consistent damage offered by Dynamite and the shots from Haven, and also allowing Chime to move up on potential flank angles. Pick up Timeless Ethereal once more. Quickly flight used by Chime there to get out of that little corner. A lot of damage on Soil yet again. That's something Timeless will have to manage.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Mana Winston time. Soil goes hunting, but they see all of FluffyDreamland try and back away. Chime, though, not so lucky. They get caught and miss the action. And this will open up enough space for a real cap to begin for Timeless Ethereal. Another pick to start them off.
Yeah, I think you're going to contest this, though, for FluffyDreamland. They do have the Primal Rage as well. But yeah, it's going to be able to end the rally here in the background. It's going to be able to have Grapes stay alive, with Proto. Nice shot there from Astro. Going to get an X10 on the way out. So now that the Bob is gone, Haven will switch over to Tracer, but do jump on, get a touch. It's only one tick of permanent progress there for Timeless Ethereal. So, they've had some, what feels like pretty good opportunities. And I think FluffyDreamland has just had some really good execution battling out.
They had to Primal.
He's got Primal.
They had to Primal. They didn't want to here.
I think he was waiting for a Nano potentially.
I mean, when they already had Primal available, maybe you do it in the other order, right, to build up your next one. Either way, you might be right. Either way, it looked like they had it forced out of them just by the fire rockets coming in from Bun. Haven going to go down, though, at least 1 for 1. Here's that primer from Sawhill. They will not be denied this kill. No, siree. Proto flattened. And Astro taken with a backhand on the way out. It should be Timeless Ethereal now, taking his first point.
Yeah, they should be able to get the checkpoint now. It's a big Primal Rage from Soil that kind of opens things up. And now you hold on some really good ultimates here for the second point, right? Bun with that Rocket Barrage. Could find an angle. I mean, that is a nice shot there from Haven. Is just going to have to be real sneaky moving around that outside.
Catch on Astro as well. This allows Timeless Ethereal to draw the battle lines really close. And Chime just denied the damage there. They were questing with that focusing beam. Could not find the elimination. Went for a Tracer do, probably for survivability if anything else, but a free pulse doesn't go awry. The pulse itself does, unfortunately, but the concept doesn't. That'll be that for this Tracer run. Back to Echo status.
Yeah, the pulse bomb was almost close, but dude, Timeless Ethereal starting to put it together with a dive. Soil and X and working together constantly now in these fights.
Beautiful stuff there. Sawhill obviously the beneficiary of that nano boost in this composition, and they know how to make use of it. That's pretty brutal stuff. FluffyDreamland, though, can do the same thing here, though, with Proto's ultimate. Give Astro an opportunity to charge up a primal of their own. It's good stall potential. Bob won't be a factor here for the Ashe. So here it is. Nano Winston going on. It's going to be a dash away instantly from Halo. She's trying to avoid this damage. They're going to have to rally instead. Great sleep to interrupt Bun as the barrage came in, but is it going to be a touch? Yes, the numbers are here, forcing the primal out of Sawhill. Hard earned from that previous engagement. But 1 versus 4 can have all the health in the world. It's still a risky prospect. Chime, though, doesn't see the reinforcements coming from the back of the car. Here's the rally thrown up by Grapes. I think they still have the stun available, but holding on to it for the time being. It's going to be the Winston force back. Halo gets caught out, and X10 slaps silly.
Yeah, barely hold on here for FluffyDreamland. You have to have Grapes come off the spawn with a rally.
Was that an intentional
to open things up? Is that is brutal there from what happened?
Astro drops down instead of like jumping across the rooftops and then uses their jump to get up. I wonder if they were intentionally juking the sleep dart.
Yeah, potentially, right? You heard the sleep dart used there from Scuff, but doesn't connect. Where, yeah, nice. Potentially trying to like kind of dodge it, you know, maybe like, okay, you're just gonna kind of like pre-use it as the Ana, like into a spot you think the Winston's gonna be coming from the angle, but almost a conk there into a rocket from Bun. Nothing really much for Timeless Ethereal to work with. You're gonna have this nano, right? The Sol's gonna have to make a sick play though.
Oh, Drew, but Bun gets blown to smithereens there as Chime in midair assumes the other winged hero. Sawhill, yeah, they're really going to have to keep eyes on this Winston. Not much that can be done now. Timeless Ethereal starting to run out of gas. 30 seconds left. They do have a nano to convert into a potential primal build-up for Sawhill. That is going to be their #1 win con in this next fight. But they're dealing with the very same from FluffyDreamland side, plus the threat of Bob.
Yeah, as now Bun switches over to the Echo. Phenomenal on it the other day, but gets taken out by Haven. I mean, such a difficult, just trying to chasm of space to just work through. Is this going to be the nano on the Sol? But you've already lost 2 players.
On Winston, that's devastating. Yes, Chime does get shut down. They did get the nano, but Astro has a primer to work with after the fact. There's everything you could ask for here for FluffyDreamland, except for a nano. And I think that's going to have to be smooth sailing for them into a hold here in this second phase of the map.
Yeah, it's really difficult when you're playing some of those characters that have like, whether it be like Pharah or Echo, like up in the sky, especially here on this part of the map. Like, there's so much great natural high ground for defenders and like hit scan that it can be really difficult to kind of cross that gap. And saw a few times, but not able to get in position to really make a big impact.
Yeah, and as far as Paraiso is concerned, it's a modest amount of cart push, but it's not going to be the kind of progress that fills you with confidence as you go onto your defense side, especially how volatile it can be to play dive-based defense compositions on this map. FluffyDreamland really able to...
I won't be predicting another jump shot, though. I know that's what was on your mind.
I don't know if I've actually seen any of those successfully hit this year, like straight out of spawn before today. So quite astonishing to see lightning strike twice, so to speak. There you have it. We have, that's the quality of player we have in these matches.
Yeah, and I think for Timeless Ethereal, they're going to play that Illari on defense yet again. I think this is quite risky. I think they've looked really good when they've had the Brig in the mix. Playing the Illari, like if the Winston can kind of get on top of the Illari and the Ana, like it's kind of like it's curtains for them. I mean, it's tough. So I think you're gonna have to play really careful. I guess the benefit would be is that like there's like large gaps between the objective and then where Halo and Scuff can play. That potentially almost, but potentially you can just do so much damage that it would make it very costly in Astro's just HP pooled across those gaps.
Yeah, and again, like if they're nearly as proactive as FluffyDreamland were defensively, then they can get tons of value from this damage, right? This greedier backline composition. Also, set up in the room there, they can play around a protected, healing pylon. Sawhill been able to pick out Grapes already, and there it is. Halo deals with Chime. That high damage backline from Timeless Ethereal strikes just as it needs to.
Yeah, so that's gonna kind of be what you're gonna have to see, right? Halo, she put down so much damage at range, right? With the Alari, that has to act almost like a damage dealer here, right? This will be a touch that you're going to try and get players to just turn away and get back.
Little touch there from Haven, trying to see if they can draw anybody out of position. Likely a 1v1. They head back upstairs here. The backline now getting pressured down. That scuff falling. Just Halo left in terms of healers for Timeless Ethereal, but Triumph has been felled. 4 versus 4, and look how low Proto and Grapes are. Timeless Ethereal also have the room to back up to the point based on how much damage they did in that fight. Okay, hold on.
Oh, they get collapsed upon though. Yeah, you're gonna lose the Alari, so jump on in. Salt gets hit with a bio, so you're gonna have to back up here for just a second. It's gonna be Proto already with the nano boost here, so FluffyDreamland may be able to just kind of like, bully them off of the point here, with that big, nano onto
Triumph
the
can play
Winston.
really close here and basically threaten Bum whenever she pops up.
Oh, nice sleep.
Can Astro still find value here? Yes, as it turns out, as X10 drops straight into the Winston's arms. That's going to be a cap here for FluffyDreamland's first checkpoint done, and they're going to have 4 minutes 33 to play. Remember, the card only got halfway through this phase of the map, so Timeless Ethereal have to batten the hatches here.
Yeah, you lose both supports here, so that's gonna give a little bit of a space to FluffyDreamland. And then it really probably comes down to 2 fights, depending on where this cart moves to here as your supports are down, right? But you've given up, without having your supports, you've given up like this high ground position, right? So trying to put himself in a spot here to deny some of that access to X10.
Here for Chime. What are they thinking? Primal here now from the Winston, slept instantly, and Chime quietly tries to back away. Oh, that's so tough for Sawhill. They were in a great spot here to really cause problems for FluffyDreamland, but that card rolls on, folks. Very, very low go both tanks. Astro coming out of Primal. And who's going to help the break here? Nobody. Great connection from Sawhill. Obviously landing plus the punch, but Astro's having to trade it out, and I think that's a trade you favor if you're FluffyDreamland. Haven will get back in the fight.
They gotta keep. They gotta get Astro topped up. So I don't think they're gonna be able to get like anything out of it. But X10 killing Proto in the fight previously, that's probably what allows Timeless Ethereal to keep the card positioned where it is. Kill onto the Ana.
Down to bring comps here means the lion's share of the healing falls on the Ana. Great work by Bun. Slippery target to catch is Haven. There it is, Chime with the Doob, instantly knocked out of it. Scarf getting taken down again though, so it's up to Halo to do the healing. Well, in this case, it's damage. Captive Sun gets used and great splatters. This is good. This is how Timeless Ethereal buys that time. Some trades here, but not really enough to unseat this defensive spot for Timeless.
No, we saw on offense how difficult it was for Bun to get across that gap on whether it be the Pharaoh or the Echo. Same thing you're kind of seeing here with Chime. I mean, look at the health right away. It just kind of comes out around the corner, and X10 landed some big shots. So it's really, difficult to get you, whether it be the Echo or the Pharaoh, in position to make a play here on offense. You see FluffyDreamland taking an approach here where they're going to slowly and methodically try and move the cart up. Maybe trying to bait somebody in here.
Winston bubble down. Nano boost now given over to Sawhill again. So that window for Haven to maybe stick the Winston is definitely passed. But X10 was the first casualty in the end. It's going to be Chime finding 2, and it's both DPS. This has got to be it. Timeless Ethereal now forced to back away. Tail between legs. They are getting out of there. But Sawhill with the Primal in the back line. At least is able to deal with Grapes. Still Proto at large, though. Still that aren't able to have impact. Where does Sawhill go here? Oh, they get redirected on their jump back towards their spawn, but Astro is very low. Pulse Bomb, no connection there at all for Haven. They go down after the fact. Halo removes them, and again, Timeless hold on. 1 minute and 45 left to play, and Ethereal dig their heels in.
Being able to keep the supports alive there is everything there for Timeless Ethereal, right? Solo able to use the Primal on the other side to stay alive and just kind of pester some of the supports on the FluffyDreamland side of things. And you only have so many resources, right? X10 is putting down some shots at Chime as well. So, like, the healers are trying to heal up Chime, they're trying to heal up Astro, and then all of a sudden Sawhill's in their face, right? And then you don't even get close to getting towards that payload. So, we get Astro back in the game just a little bit above a minute on the clock. That is a sick shot.
Chime was playing for a duplicate, almost no doubt about it there. One overlooked thing about Astro having a sort of DC there, they lose ult charge. They come back in with 1%. So the odds of them getting a Primal here, not great, especially now that Proto can't just give them a nano and get them to charge that for free or easily. But no, yeah, you see even the Farah here, pressured heavily on the defensive side, playing out in the open. Dive is pretty good, somehow Bun hanging on, and she's close to a barrage here. Not a bad combo. Scuff wants to sense the nano in the Farah direction either. The dive from Sawhill looks pretty good. Defensive Bionade and a sleep, very timely. But the shield bash wakes up the Winston. Haven still unable to walk away unscathed though.
Yeah, I think if you're FluffyDreamland, you just need a single pick, right? You need a pick to back Timeless Ethereal up. It's kind of what you're looking for, right? You saw the pressure they were putting on the Bun, just trying to find a target to get an easy first pick off here.
Can he dupe a Winston though?
Yeah, you're looking at Nano on the Astro to the high ground and probably kind of collapse there with Chime. So you're looking at
slapped instantly. Chime duping an Ana. Can they walk away? Absolutely not, but it's going to be a trade elsewhere. Bun brought down by a whip shot of all things, and Scuff is in deep trouble. Trying to whack away inside the shield, but it's going to be a Brig nano tier for Grapes. Sawhill has Primal available. They need to get back to the objective and try and contest this though, and here it comes. In the meantime though, the cart moves. Sawhill plays off of it, an inches closer and closer to the objective, and now the reinforcements are coming in. It's Bun switching over to the Tracer. Bob trying to get involved now. That's from the attacking side, and the whip shot will knock Sawhill off the point for the time being, opening the window for Astro to take X10 down. Now they'll push further. Primal Rage for the attacking Winston, and then it's Bob getting involved as Bun will fall. And FluffyDreamland, after an awkward little DC, able to snatch up the second map in the series. It came down to the wire though, make no mistake.
Oh, yeah, and it was like a Chime actually using the duplicate to go for the Ana and then trying to like bio the back line, like from the high ground. We've seen that happen, I know, over a few times for Astro. Don't know if they got anybody, but man, the fight just broke into all chaos there towards the end. Proto end up holding on to that Nano for way longer than I thought. Ends up using it on the Brig to keep the Brig alive and kind of extend that into a final fight. And you know, in that final fight, when they did end up having the Bob and the Primal, we set up pretty good for FluffyDreamland.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the deck was stacked in the favor of FluffyDreamland towards that last fight, right? Especially in terms of that ultimate economy. Getting to deploy Bob when you are pushing right into that cul-de-sac there towards the end of the map is pretty massive. Primal for Sawhill was available, but by the time that they were able to use it, well, most of their team was already gone. A lot of highlights here, God, including this bloody shot. Oh, God. God, that's a gorgeous flick.
I called
that is so good. Oh, my Lord. You did. You called it, Matt. You absolutely called it. Rare to see a couple of those in one sort of game day. Very uncommon. But FluffyDreamland were actually able to hold on in that first fight despite that shot coming in, which is kind of wild to me. This is where the hold happens, right? Through that second phase of the map where all of our airborne heroes just kind of struggled in general to, you know, really achieve their objectives, I think, without sort of being at like 1 HP constantly. The dive was good. The Iliari Ana backline, though, served Timeless Ethereal pretty well.
Yeah, it's just really difficult to kind of close that gap on that first, you know, the second point, right? And I think that's where kind of like Timeless Ethereal kind of struggled there towards the end. So see where Timeless Ethereal, I thought Bun had a, this is really, now that is a sleep there. That is sick.
Yeah, sleep, I think, before even the bio was able to come through, and then they barraged the sleeping Gekko, so even after they got knocked out of Dupe. There's like a small invulnerability frame when you come out of Dupe, but it's not long, and the barrage was just, again, to secure the kill, but also ended up getting Bun killed, I think, on the crackback. So definitely hurt Timeless Ethereal in the end there. But you can see the desperation. I mean, those moments, that last 30 seconds, that's where your instinct really kicks in. And FluffyDreamland were just able to squeeze over the line. I'm enjoying this. It's a very competitive game so far. And again, another map pick comes up here for Timeless Ethereal. And both squads like to play these dive-based compositions. We're off to Dorado now, another pick for Timeless.
Ooh. Yeah, interesting. So in the series against NRG, it looked like they actually decided to play Suravasa for you know, their third map. So Dorado, a little bit of a different twist here for Timeless Ethereal. I think it allows X10 to play like a Widow or play something a little bit more long range and take that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe more likely we see the Ashe comp sort of played out here, but again, you will want to be proactive again on that Winston-based dive as a defender, maybe even more so than we see on Paraiso, but the idea is pretty similar. Get value out of that sort of inherent topographical advantage that you have out of the gates here and try and pressure with a lot of those Winston dives. So that one is, that'll be just around the corner, folks. And again, last chance for Timeless Ethereal to stay alive here in Stage 3. It might be all over for them already. Already, you know, making history in the own right, of course, as a team that, you know, comes up from calling all heroes now, making a great impact through those groups and getting to the main events. Great story, but, you know, they want so much more than that. It's on the table for them, but Dorado has to be a win for them to stay in the series and the competition.
Yeah, and in the series, it's definitely winnable, right? They played FluffyDreamland really close throughout the first 2 maps this far. So at this point, you just got to take it like a map at a time and just kind of like work your way slowly kind of back into it, right? Can't win like an entire, you know, series just in one map, right? You can't kind of like just focus so hard on it. You just got to get a map at a time at this point.
Yeah, of course. DreamHack tickets are available, folks. This entire year of OWCS, incredible as it has been, will culminate at DreamHack in Stockholm, which is, by the way, a fantastic city to hold DreamHack in.
You've been to Stockholm.
Have I been to Stockholm? Yes.
Yeah.
I did go.
Oh, you'll have to show me around.
Not much about it. It was good though. I really liked it. No shade on Jönköping, but it's nice to be able to fly directly into a DreamHack city as opposed to taking like a 90-minute shuttle from Gothenburg, which also is not an... Anyway, it's going to be great. So make sure you get there if you can. DreamHack.com/Stockholm for more information. We're going to be there if I don't say something that gets me fired beforehand. So I hope to see you guys there too. We're going to jump into the game in just a moment here. Dorado is on the docket, and it is Timeless Ethereal's last gasp in this series.
It'll probably be cold when we're there.
There's a good chance of that, Matthew. Yeah. How do you...
Yeah, you'll have to do some shopping.
What do you mean? I have warm clothes. I was in Poland last week. What's wrong with you?
What, was Poland cold?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty warm. It's quite pleasant, really.
Yeah. See?
Yes, I mean, I do. What do you mean? I do have warm clothes. What's wrong?
I bet you're like a bubble vest turtleneck type of guy in the winter.
That's Johnny, man.
That is definitely Johnny, for sure.
You know,
I mean, look.
You know, I'm wearing some like coat that's very cheap. That's, you know, designed to look more expensive than it actually is. I'm that guy. I'm not a bubble vest. That is so bone-hurtingly European.
It's down to your knees or whatever, right?
Yeah, I might have one of those.
Timeless Ethereal. So I think this is a pretty good look. You get the Brig on defense, right? I think this is when me and Jay casted them last week, I believe they ended up running the Alari here. So playing the Brig at the start with the Ana, I like that decision. And then the Bun Tracer X10 Tracer Widow combo's pretty sick here.
That is sick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, again, maybe a concession here just to the fact that FluffyDreamland are putting a lot of pressure down on the Ahri. Maybe looking for something extra to answer the Winston. All right, Haven. She has a shield, so I would be careful.
Yeah.
X10 able to play from behind the Brig there pretty comfortably. No headshots there in that exchange, though, and Chimes over to the Echo.
So the interesting that FluffyDreamland, they don't kind of like they don't want to play a hit scan in response. Seems like they just want to try and, you know, dive the Widow. Could be quite difficult as well. I talk about just kind of like, you know, closing that space as Asher just moves up to the right here. They kind of give up both supports.
Soil is also rotating their cooldowns really well there. Trying to sort of predict, I guess, that sleep dart timing to come out. So they get the Widow, but at what cost, folks? They've lost Proton and Graves. Their entire backline is gone. Astro, diving into a team with no supports. Normally you feel like, yes, that's the play, but they get slept. Oh, that's devastating.
Well, you might have been able to live there if Asher didn't get slept, and then you can have your supports coming off of spawn. That's probably the idea there, but a really nice sleep yet again from Scuff as Bun, too smart, knows that Haven's playing from that little cheeky spot down there by the health pack.
All right. They went for a FluffyDreamland, very aggressive on these dives. Once more, Astro at least creating a bit of space up here on this high ground. You can see Chime immediately assumes that area as well. X10 playing on the fountain, so Chime gonna have to respect this. Quick peek here and there just to see if the Widow has repositioned. That's what the Echo has to do. Keep tabs on them. Full sticky bomb connection on Sawhill, and they shrug it off virtually.
You almost have a dupe here. Like you can, get like a 2 Winstons out there trying to make a play, but that is nasty.
Graves dropped the shield. Oh, that's brutal. X10, she says, all right, well, who's next?
You're screaming like you're the only one on the planet who saw the shield. I swear it was there.
I don't know if I'm just seeing things at this point, but X10 saw exactly what she needed to. Cleanly done. Head taking clean off of Grapes here, and that will slow down FluffyDreamland a bit. Chime is, my goodness, they are
How did they end up here?
This is like some Antarctic exploration level, like out in the open stuff, and it's worked pretty well.
They're playing Splinter Cell, just like flanking around the map. Just
This is Metal Gear
stealth.
Solid. They just got the cardboard box in their head, like out behind them.
Giant pretended to be a box for a bit and snuck around. I mean, that's an interesting position for both damage dealers to end up in. I don't think. I mean, look, times 0. I don't think they were prepared for that. I mean, they may have thought the Tracer was there, but I don't think they had any idea that Chime was in that
It worked out
position
really well because they also saw Halo get a nano and they just turned away. They went back to the fight elsewhere. Monkey magic here, double trouble for FluffyDreamland, and Chime's going to have a free primal. X10 knows the more important target is probably Astro, but has to accept that Chime is going to be right up in their face.
Reverting personality.
Checkpoint gained.
I think it now becomes a little bit easier here for FluffyDreamland, right? To kind of play with this Widow on the other side. Like, if you're going to play that far at a distance, if you're X10, you're going to give up a lot of space to the payload, right? So you're going to have to play on this like high ground right above where Chime is, and it's a bit easier to die. Nice bio there on Astro.
Get away with that? That's unreal.
Yeah, Scuff's had some big plays.
Astro must have friends at high places. If there's too many situations where Winston's going to get away there, just snuck out. Still under a lot of pressure though as they went for a dive. Looks like on the Widow. What? That was a grapple shot. Are you kidding me?
What? That was like a grapple to get to the high ground. It's just a casual headshot.
Astro comes to call. Scuff trying to keep Halo standing. Nice little defensive bio here. Astro doesn't have much more to do until that wears off. And the sleep dart comes in. Chimes in an awkward viewing angle there in the bottom of the courthouse. And the rally of Halo is, man, going to make it pretty hard for FluffyDreamland to pressure. Astro still goes for it. Next 10 rips his head off.
I think Astro just stayed for a little bit too long. They got like all the resources they needed, right? I mean, sleep was out, rally out, the bio was used early. Maybe thought that they could like stay for a little bit longer and build up a primal, but just way too risky at the moment. As looks like actually Proteus with a bio gonna have the rally popped here, but X10 with another
Halo
pickoff.
just does not die. She just does not leave.
Yeah.
It's so hard to dive that high ground with the brig there. That's why that comp change seems so good.
Well, yeah, that's why, like, you know, the other day Jake and I were pretty frustrated seeing teams not play the brig. It's like the brig is like just unmovable, it feels like.
That was high flying work there from Astro to be able to catch X10 out. And also they're tying up the supports on the high ground, as is Saw Hill, but they're gonna have to give up their life for this. Elsewhere, Bundo found the pulse stick onto Grapes, and Times Ethereal look fantastic defensively here. Astro getting out again.
The brig's still alive on the high ground with the Ana, just swinging away.
She doesn't die. She just does not die.
Yeah.
And she has a rally again,
Nothing
bro.
you can do. Yeah. I mean, sick play now from the back line of Timeless Ethereal. It is difficult to break that setup, you know, with the brig and the Ana in tandem. So coming down to the wire here for FluffyDreamland yet again. This is like also an odd part of the map to like play Tracer, right? No, maybe you don't want to play the Widow here if you're FluffyDreamland, but this is where you see teams at times like not even play Tracer, play like a Genji, right, to kind of like access the high ground. This is going to be the Infrasight. Just going to burn some clock here. You're going to have a good idea of where everybody's going to be coming from.
Tries to drag his tongue over 5 miles of glass to even get a whiff of the Widow. It's so hard to get to that back line here. Gale and Winston do from long range. Chime, what a spot to use it too. Big pressure on the back line again. It's going to be the rally Bionade combo though. Still pre-primal for Chime. And again, primal in dupe bypasses the health cap, right? So normally just 300 HP, but if you can build primal, you have that full 1000, and Halo is not going to play the game for the next few moments. Finally, FluffyDreamland get going. Map of time is the enemy.
Yes, they'll get the cart moving here. You're gonna have like probably another 2 fights if FluffyDreamland is gonna, you know, end up taking it. And Soil as a primal, as Astro getting quite low. Probably gonna try and get the Ana like towards a nano boost. That's what you're trying to work for here at your FluffyDreamland.
Instantly headshot, by the way, as soon as Astro peeks his head around the corner. This has been a great defense from Timeless Ethereal, all things considered. Chime eventually able to find the widow, but at what cost again? Question we keep asking. Getting rid of Sawhill here, that could be pretty big. Nano for Grapes here. Haven trying to keep the car contested. Gonna get a Girl Scout cookie from Grapes. The Nano Brig, just using it for survivability here, the ability to contest. Can't drop that shield. One gonna bring the Brig down. Halo gets the Nano here. Sleep Dart, though, is going to take them out of commission for the time being, and Astro's return to the fight, but it's going to be X10 with a headshot from the background inside the facility itself. And the bubble's not long for this world. Astro is so low, and there's just not enough healing available for them. Dirty start from the Widow. Timeless Ethereal get a hold outside of the last phase of the map.
The kill from Button onto Grapes is probably the biggest one, though, because Grapes is so close to the rally, and then had obviously the benefits of the Nano there, where if you live through that and you get that rally, you probably have everybody alive when Astro comes back off the spawn. So a huge pulse bomb there by Bun probably secures them holding on to that checkpoint.
We can see just how hard it is for the dive to work out against an incredibly coordinated backline duo, and a Widow that also will, you know, space herself further back from her two supports. Yes, it requires the Ana and Brick to turn around every now and then, but it means there's layers and layers of abstraction between the attacking Winston and the defending Widow. Widow's hitting shots like that. I mean, all you need to do is buy her a little bit of time, and she will deliver. She will reward that. So only really, through this second phase of the map here, just outside the door. So decent push, but really we're hoping for more. Hoping for another checkpoint with FluffyDreamland. Going to turn up the heat on the defense if they want to close the series and try and stop Timeless Ethereal from potentially mounting a comeback.
Yeah, and I'm curious why no Widow for FluffyDreamland on defense. I think the Widow's pretty strong here, where, you know, Echo could be a little bit harder. I think Widow could give you a little bit of an advantage, where, you know, I think not having it, like, whether it be Widow or Ashe could be quite difficult.
Widow also really forces that defensive dive. You've got to find a way to dig her out. I guess X10 is looking here for someone to bob up just ahead there on that middle of that building. Haven knows it. They're going to drop down and maybe start to threaten X10, who's actually switched to the Tracer anyway, so no Widow to speak of. Proto here, relatively safely positioned as their team is diving right now.
Do you think this mirror favors any of the teams, or not really?
Favors Timeless Ethereal now, but in general, I would have felt FluffyDreamland were comfortable not having to go up against a Widow. I don't think they wanted to match it at all, but this has been a great fight for Timeless. Chime brought down again. Sawhill able to play inside the bubble, so they should be able to get out to safety.
Yeah, I think I would have said the mirror would have favored probably FluffyDreamland as well. Bun's Echo, though, in the match that we cast the other day was, like, insanely good. So this is, I think, the first time we've seen her on Echo throughout the series. It's been a lot of Far, so Far and some Tracers. So good to see the Echo come out, where maybe you can start to get things going there. As Haven actually switches away from Tracer, you're gonna have an Ashe in play as Asher just gets deleted there. That should be the first
that is so sick from Sawhill. That dive from Astro is not supposed to be a one-player stall attempt. They just the whole rest of FluffyDreamland got caught up in that left side choke there by Sawhill, who just got in their way. That is very nice, and it also gives that easy checkpoint here. So, Timeless Ethereal, in theory, already halfway to their goal on this map with almost 5 minutes to play. Easy street, perhaps.
Yeah, you did get a few kills, though, here, I know, for FluffyDreamland, so they're going to be able to stabilize, you know, hold things down for just a little bit, is build some ultimate charge on a few of the players. Is looks like Bun and Song just trying to make a play for this high ground
here. Yeah, get those stickies out. More Haven just ceased to exist. Just expunged for the records of history. Sawhill was slapped at the very least here, but losing Haven is going to hurt one way or another. Primal for Sawhill, mostly expended whilst they were slumbering. But still, Timeless Ethereal make a lot of space behind it. They are knocking on the door here, encroaching on that final checkpoint. Unhappy with this dude Winston here, just to buy a bit of space. Start to pressure this Echo out. Look how quickly this Primal gets built up, by the way. Still won't be quite enough time as X10 is down. Haven comes off the respawn, but Sawhill is able to find them. It's going to be a 1-for-1. Eventually, the Winston drops down. It's not a fight that favors Timeless Ethereal whatsoever.
Yeah, and just about everything used here from both sides. I mean, that's the dupe, the nano rally there in Primal from FluffyDreamland. And then for Timeless Ethereal, you ended up using both support ults and the dupe as well. You felt like you had an opportunity to maybe close the game out there. But FluffyDreamland, they hold on in the end. So now I think gives FluffyDreamland an opportunity on defense here, right? You get this Ashe set up on the high ground, get a Bob here, you can kind of hold on defense potentially.
Haven trying to stick to that high ground, trying to stay close to the support. Enemy dropping down will be the end of them. They're able to stave off Saw Heal for now, but they are waiting for another crack at it. Look how close that card just got. Please, please touch a card. Chime gets there. Thought X10 was really going to make that happen. Haven goes down there, but it is Saw Heal very low until they pop the Primal. And this should be it. FluffyDreamland have gotten it done. Extending the series a little bit longer, staying alive in the lower bracket. Love to see that. Fantastic Widow play. The Echo play from Bun as well, was sublime. Great to see Timeless Ethereal still in the game.
Yeah, Bun's Echo is just tremendous. You had some really nice Widow play from X10 on the defense. And now you're back in the series, right? Where do we see FluffyDreamland take us potentially, right? With just push and Flashpoint as options, but Timeless Ethereal, they get themselves on the board, they give themselves a fighting chance to work their way back into this.
How many of these bogey maps are available? But considering these two teams both gravitate towards really similar compositions, it's not like you pick a map that's really hostile to dive or to rush and try and play the opposite style. With the similarities between these two teams, FluffyDreamland don't necessarily have a silver bullet in terms of map selection.
So yes and no. I think like if you feel like you can play Rush, if you're FluffyDreamland, maybe you play like a New Junk City, like a map that would feel like it's a little bit more Rush centric. And then if you lose there, you're still in a spot where you have like whether it be Colosseo or Runasapi that you can just like mirror the dive yet again, right? That it could be a path you decide to take. Maybe that's kind of how I feel.
Mirror didn't work out for them on Dorado, that is for sure. The Widowmaker got the better of them there. So, inflection point in the series perhaps, or is this just a quick coming up for air for Timeless Ethereal? We're going to have a discuss it. We'll see how it plays out on the other side of it. Nice to see Timeless Ethereal fight back a bit though, gang.
It is. I'm very glad that even if they were to lose the next one, they went out putting up a fight. This was a very competent dive we got to see from them on Dorado. That's something that we're used to them showing us, really, as they do have that synergy. We talked about the teamwork. That was on full display on Dorado. If we're going back in the series, though, taking a look at some highlights, Lee Jung and Paraiso, that looked rough. FluffyDreamland have been having the upper hand throughout the majority of both of those maps, really.
Yeah, I think Li Jiang definitely felt relatively one-sided. Paraiso, for me, it was down to the wire. It was a final fight situation. But, this is just a good, honest Overwatch. Both teams strong on the Winston comp, feeling confident and believing that they're the better squad. And now they both have reasons to be confident. That is
we got to stop. We got to stop. Stop peeking. All right?
No, it's been
twice
magic for the Widow jump shot.
It never happens. It never, especially in
I'm such a non-believer in a Widow jump shot, but it's been working.
Yeah, brutal. But yeah, I think Dorado was a really interesting map because it was dominant. It was dominant from Timeless Ethereal, and I thought that, FluffyDreamland, they looked off their game a little bit, especially on the defense. Astro got picked early, playing the spawn rooftops, beamed down by the Echo, but then they could never really find their groove, playing this kind of like dive composition. So it is a good sign for Timeless Ethereal, but I think the real problem for them now is like the maps you have to go to here. You got Paris out of the way, dive friendly, couldn't win that one. You got Dorado, which you go to pick for Escort, which is going to be a dive map again. Like now you have to get through Flashpoint and push. I think Brawl is favored here for FluffyDreamland, and so I think it's going to be an uphill battle if you want to reverse sweep here.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting question, though. Matt and Mitch did touch on that a little bit as they just ended this map. Where do you even go? Because both teams, they've played kind of similar stuff anyway, so it's not like you can go to a map where you're like, oh, we're going to be clear favorite just based on composition alone.
I mean, all right, I don't think FluffyDreamland won the one round of Koth playing Orisa into Reinhardt. I don't think that makes them like the Rush team in this series. I feel like we don't know who's the stronger Rush team because neither team has really wanted to play it only where
Well,
it's absolutely
I'm saying
necessary.
based on like the group stages, because they did play, you know, Circuit Real. They brought out the Sigma, for example. They brought out Astro on a couple of maps playing the Ramatra. So I just feel like they are very versatile in that regard.
All right.
And I thought maybe Paraiso and Dorado was a telltale sign from Timeless Ethereal. We want to push the dive matchup. That's where we think we have the edge. And so that's why I think maybe I get the sense that you don't want to play into the Brawl.
Well, you might be right because they picked New Junk City. I mean, this is a strong signal that you're going to play Brawl. I do think, though, Timeless Ethereal could put up a fight. Just don't play Ryan.
Don't play
play
Ryan.
Ryan.
Don't play Ryan.
All right.
Even I'll say it. Don't
Usually,
play Ryan.
yeah, usually I wouldn't agree with it, but maybe today is not the day in this particular series. New Junk City to close it out, or perhaps Timeless Ethereal can keep themselves alive. Let's see what's going to happen on New Junk City. Guys, please take it away.
Thank you very much, crew. Yes, substitution here for Timeless Ethereal. They know that it might be a rush mirror or something similar. At least something a little bit less mobile they get dragged into here. FluffyDreamland already showed us the Orisa-based composition. Looked pretty effective, especially with the Mei, to catch out those less nimble tanks. Timeless Ethereal, though, opt maybe into a bit of a poke composition.
I like the pick here for FluffyDreamland. I think obviously basing it off of the one round of rush on the map number 1, probably not the answer, but they probably have a good idea of like, okay, it's just going to be, you know, Winston dive on whatever push we go to. Let's try and play our, you know, rush style of play yet again and see if we can take a map where Timeless Ethereal, they make a sub in terms of tanks, so it'll be sniper in the game, and they're going to play a slow Sigma comp here, but I think, like, you know, if you can use the speed effectively, right, and dodge the Orisa, I think this Sigma comp definitely can win out. But oh, they catch Bun out.
Yeah, they see her on the flank, and that's the Venture out of the picture here. That's a brilliant start for FluffyDreamland. I think they noted Timeless Ethereal behind them, but they must have seen a glimpse or heard the Venture. So then instead, they just go forward. Take them out of the picture now with X10 missing. We've been playing Ring Around the Rosie here, but eventually FluffyDreamland can alight to the point, start that cap out. Again, there are some windows, of course, where the Sigma can, you know, catch the Orisa out with an accretion, but they're a little few and far between with the presence of Fortify. See how that matchup goes in the head-to-head.
Yeah, I think, like, with the, you know, the Orisa comp wants to, like, use some of the cooldowns and whatnot to get past the Sigma shield, where Sigma, like, you just want to kind of, like, use this speed to kind of keep that space, like, that medium distance, right, and just kind of, like, rotate him around the map to a point where that FluffyDreamland, they have no way to close the gap, and then you just kind of poke them down to death. This is where they'll struggle, though. It's like, how do you kind of take back with this comp? Is oh yeah, Bun. I mean, that's a difficult position to be in.
Actually, Drill rushes away from the action, but that's her only escape. And the Mei wall comes out a little bit later. Sure, Bun could have gotten around the wall, but it took too long. Oh, that flank for the Orisa. What a beautiful connection with the Javelin. This is a wash so far in this first flashpoint of New Junk City.
Yeah, it's just been dominant so far now from FluffyDreamland. As Bun will move away from the Venture, now play the Pharah, so puts some more pressure on Haven, and then also just more splash damage, just damage in general, right? To just kind of make it a little bit harder on FluffyDreamland, right? If you can just put down tons of, you know, damage with the Pharah, and then also the Dynamite, right? You know, just put ticking damage down on the FluffyDreamland, keep the Sigma alive, and just poke them down. That's kind of the path here for Timeless Ethereal.
Time got caught out there. There was no way they were getting in. I think an accretion essentially put an end to them. Scarfler gets traded out. Astro's had to take a ton of damage for this, though. They were waiting with the Javelin. It's actually Grapes getting picked off instead. Timeless Ethereal wastes no time and getting back in the game here. They're heading over to this next flashpoint day. We'll be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, so this next fight's going to be chaos. You're going to have, what, 4 ultimates on each side here, you know, as Timeless Ethereal get control of the point. How do you want to play this for either team, right? Using these Amp Matrices probably at the same time they're going to counter each other out. As Asher going to try and work through the choke here, as it looks like Chime and Proto going to work from the side angle. So they're going to get back towards that point. This will be Bobs for both teams. Amp Matrix is from both sides as well.
Thrown up there to basically block the entirety of Ethereal for coming on in. Sound barrier for both sides. Proto not being affected by it, but neither were needed in the end, as there was a break in the action precipitated by that Mei wall. Astro a little bit low here, does have the javelin spin, but needs healing in the meantime. Terra Surge, okay, there's a lot of lanterns on the field. And Sniper gets brought down by Grapes, eventually able to break through that Sigma shielding and deal with it, but Chime falls again in the periphery. Still a flip though for FluffyDreamland, still 4 to play with.
Yeah, I think Sniper got pushed out of the immortality field there, so it takes a big chunk of damage from the Terror Surge, but then finished off by Grapes, so didn't get the full benefits there potentially of Scuff's immortality field. So Haven pushes up, takes a big chunk of damage as FluffyDreamland takes the lead. I feel like this is Timeless Ethereal. They need to win this next fight, right? You have that Gravitic Flux plus Barrage to be able to use here. I feel like Sniper's done a great job of taking away some of this space as well from Astro.
Chime flanks.
That is nasty.
Great turn there from X10. Gravitic Flux did go down. You can see that FluffyDreamland are struggling here, but a lot of damage taken by Ethereal as well. The flank there from X10 after the fact. That's what really does Astro in. And a 98% Timeless Ethereal able to get back in this game with a bomb and a barrage to spare.
Yeah, I'm curious if FluffyDreamland. Okay, I was gonna say I hope they change their comp. I don't really love the Orisa. I don't know where. I think you can make it work, but I don't think she has like a great spot. I don't think she has a great spot in the meta. Like, yeah, against Reinhardt, sure, but like, you know, in this type of situation, I do like the Ramatra. You can get the Ramatra close to the point and brawl out. That's where the Ramatra can definitely win over the Sigma. But Exton yet again finds another.
I don't know if there's much of an opportunity here for FluffyDreamland, Matt. Astro gets checked at the door by Bob and cleaned up by the Accretion. We'll be even here on New Junk City. Timeless Ethereal really starting to get rolling.
Yeah, I mean, know XN1 really starting to come alive on the damage dealers, trying to send this one to a game 5 would be crazy. A potential reverse sweep here for Timeless Ethereal if they can battle back. And now they'll have this barrage here. I mean, I think the barrage, if you can find a kill with it, I think you feel good about it, right? I mean, it's one kind of rotating around, seeing kind of what information she can get at the moment.
Unaware of a potential flank, trying to delay that with a concussive blast, but they'll still have to play out of line of sight to some degree. Chime also on their own flank as per usual, and it's going about the same way as it always has been. All right, into Ice Block they go. Blizzard deployed instantly. They know they're not long for this well, so can they do something on the way out? Oh, yes! Scuff got caught by the last vestiges of their Blizzard. How to catch out the Baptiste there is great value.
The way Chime plays Mei is just unhinged. Like, you'd want to like kind of put the Mei think, right? With the Ram and just kind of like wall off, run down that Sigma. But instead, Chime on flanks, using the walls, trying to capture supports, using a Blizzard there. It is
great to see that Josh's impact is still being felt on Overwatch a couple of years later.
I'm all for it. Yeah, I mean, the flanks. The flanks, I feel like, it always works out.
Always works out.
In one way or another.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure. I think that is Omega Cope, but that's fine. Seen a couple sus ones from Chime, but that one worked out one way or another, as Matt put it. Dynamite there, blocked by the shield. Here comes a Flux. Bob also making an entrance here for FluffyDreamland. Sound barrier held here by Ethereal, and Grapes is also holding on to theirs.
You're gonna have a later
not
one
good enough
here.
to catch Haven and Chime though. Haven could have used it there against the barrage, but still a 1-for-1. Halo out of the picture here after they let that beat go. Getting close to an annihilation here for Astro, but Grapes is in deep trouble. That immortality field might not be enough to keep the Ramatra fighting fit. Button has to back away. She can with a concussive blast. And at 99%, FluffyDreamland might have to give this one away. Surely Astro's not hoping to do much more than this. Bob came in as well. I think Fluffy will have to be happy enough seeing these ultimates drawn out of Timeless.
Yeah, I think you're totally fine if you're FluffyDreamland. Getting it to 99 and then seeing them use the Bob basically at the end, I think you're totally fine. You take that. Now continuing to play the Mei, I think you got to get aggressive with this Ice Wall and the Annihilation in combination, right? Split off Sniper from the rest of the team, or X10, one of the two. Use the speed boost, charge them down, get that Annihilation, and secure this flashpoint.
One fight for FluffyDreamland's all they need for this checkpoint. A little bit of pressure here at mid-range. Might be Nemesis into Annihilation here. There it is. Annihilation popped instantly. Immortality field going to be dealt with by Haven. Scuffed is very, very low, and the Amp Matrix may not be enough. Bun's able to make some use of it to deal with the Ramatra, though, in Annihilation. They've lost too many players by the time that happens. Bun here trying to keep it alive with Halo, but it's too much for the two of them. And that'll be another flashpoint for FluffyDreamland now on the precipice of advancing in our lower brackets.
I mean, they're quite fortunate right now. Astro, when that Am Matrix gets shot by, Scuff just runs right around the corner and no line of sight to any of the supports. Couldn't even get like a immortality field over, but the Annihilation just puts down so much AoE damage in a brief period of time that I know the rest of the team able to clean up a lot of those kills. Now with getting control at this point first in terms of position, you're in a really good spot to use this Blizzard. Yeah.
It's thrown out here. Astro hoping to make some use of it. Dancing amongst the snowflakes, it's going to be Halo. Well, the only player that actually gets picked up as a result. And Astro's a little bit out of position relative to the rest of their team here. Bun's in a great spot though. She just sees Grapes and it's an easy pick. Healed up rapidly. Astro's in trouble here, and it looks like FluffyDreamland might have the first cap, but I think it'll be short-lived at this rate in a 2 versus 4. Yes, pack it up.
What do you think of the May? I'm curious. So do you think you're getting like good value out of this May?
Conditionally effective on some points. Definitely not this one. It doesn't do anything to shut down the Pharah, and frankly, the Sigma plays at such a range that it's hard to catch him on a lot of these flashpoints as it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather see even like just play Tracer here, right? Just play Tracer Ashe and just kind of play that with the Ramattra.
It gives you a real flank presence that is self-sufficient, more, I guess, to a greater degree than the May is. But also harder to keep tabs on. However,
yeah, I think you put a little bit more pressure on the back line. I think, like, you know, even to the Sigma, like, you know, if you're not getting value out of these walls, like...
Here's Bob. Actually catches on. Oh no, the Flux gets cancelled, shut down. Butterly's trying to even the score with a barrage on Grapes, but that is not going to be enough. Bob exits the fight after claiming 2 kills. FluffyDreamland are back in the driver's seat here. X10 would love a kill on their way out. Hello! Somebody stop her, please. Astro comes in with a left hook.
Oh, I was just trying to kite there. It looked ridiculous, but that bomb from Haven was enormous, right? Sniper using the Gravitic Flux will actually match the Ramattra in Ramattra now, and then the Rocket Barrage. That could be the game changer there. For Timeless Ethereal, I mean, like these support ultimates have to be good, but with this late switch on the tank, Astro already with this Annihilation could go early.
Matrix very dangerous to Sniper. They're forced into a defensive stance pretty early, and they're going to be forced away from the rest of their team. The wall's going to catch them out here, and this might be it, folks. Scuffed gets brought down. 80% and counting for FluffyDreamland, and Timeless are relatively out of options. Halo at least might be able to get away, but they're hunting. And then might have found X10, but she's still able to deal with Haven on the way out. Still, it's a lot to ask here from Timeless Ethereal. It's going to be Halo desperately trying to get a touch. She can't, and that is the end of the line for Timeless Ethereal. FluffyDreamland advance here in the lower bracket. It's a back and forth. New Junk City, but eventually the Ramattra style prevails.
Yeah, it's an incredibly competitive game between these two teams, right? I know pretty much throughout the entire series, I would say map 1 like was where FluffyDreamland probably looked the best, but everything else kind of came down to, you know, 1 or 2 fights or, you know, a kill here, ultimate there in each direction, where in this final map, FluffyDreamland comes out on top.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, you know, Timeless Ethereal start with like a venture-based composition, right? That was interesting, but again, exploitable to some degree. Doesn't have quite the same level of mobility as Tracer. The recall, the reset button, it's just not there for Venture in general. Tons to unpack from this series. We saw a myriad of different compositions from both these sides, including some of those greedier support lines that we love to gripe about a little bit. So, Desk, what are your thoughts here? FluffyDreamland do advance. Y'all had Timeless Ethereal winning in a 3-2.
We did, except Johnny tried to backpedal so very hard, but he didn't fully commit, and therefore he went down with us and with Timeless Ethereal.
I tried to commit as hard as I could. I was like in their primal rage reading.
I legit asked if you want to flip-flop. You didn't say.
No, we can't. We don't have the technology.
I can. I'm the host. I can.
Okay, well, I flipped
for you. Well, you didn't though.
Okay, posthumously.
Didn't actually commit, but it was a very competitive series. It was a competitive series. The scoreline doesn't quite give you that impression, perhaps, but there were on the second map and also here on our very last map. It was a back and forth. It was quite the brawl. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the May pick was just like too much here. Like, it gives you such a leg up in this kind of like brawl matchup, especially like you're playing like Ram and May against a Sigma who's like trying to stay alive against these May walls. It gives you such an advantage when it comes to this frontline duel, but also on a couple of these points, like crucial point stall as well. Like you got the May ice block, for example. So I think the Chime May pick just came in clutch in this map, and I think you saw, especially in the front lines, what a big difference maker that was. And I think that was the biggest difference for me.
This retake was really huge. I think like this is a spot where, you know, Timeless has total position on the map, in full control. And FluffyDreamland just come from all sides. And Lucio and Ash on one flank, May on another, Ram and Bap up the mid, and that just proves to be too much for the Sigma comp to deal with. Not great at dealing with split pressure. You know, dying here, but maybe the beat could have come down first. So a couple small mistakes under pressure, and FluffyDreamland just, you know, played solid, played consistent. And I think near the end of the series as well, we saw Haven really light on fire, finding consistent picks on the Ashe.
Astro earning themselves the player of the match here with the performance today. Astro had a really, really good day, but generally I feel like this team has been just...
Chime was really good as well.
Yeah,
like, there were several standouts on the team.
Yeah, I think generally, if you compare their performance from the groups, I feel like they won up their game every single match they take. They've shown us different looks today as well. I think we've seen a lot more different compositions and just little variations of the compositions that we've already seen them play in the groups.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by this team as well, and I mean they have the results to back it here in stage 3 now. Like I mentioned earlier, the fact that they beat Citrus Nightmare and Shikigami in their group to top their group. Of course, the first round is tough because there is a lot of stacked teams, but I still think this is a great showing from FluffyDreamland. You know, they did lose to Timeless in the first round, right? So. You know, I'll be interested to see. We haven't seen that match, of course, because we covered, you know, our own first round game, which was the Toronto Defiant one. So I'm curious to go back tonight and, you know, see how that game unfolded and see how they can improve in the lower bracket.
I do you one better. How about we ask them ourselves? Because we have Astro from FluffyDreamland joining us for a quick chat. Astro, congratulations on this hard-fought victory. You and the team are staying alive in our lower bracket. But let's roll it back to your first match of the day, actually, because we didn't get to watch that. Against Timeless, you fell down into the lower bracket. What were the takeaways in that game? What went wrong, and also what's the name of your cat?
Okay, my cat's name is Crombie. But our takeaway from the game, here, let me get him off here.
Oh, please.
We love a cat on cam.
But his name is Crombie, short for Abercrombie. But Timeless, I think they're a really strong team. And I think the meta right now suits them really well. Like they found their strength. And they play into it really, really well. And so that's why we were struggling versus them. And I also think maybe we were just scared to make mistakes. I think versus this team, we were more confident, and we knew that in order to win, that we were just gonna like go walk our feet around the map and go like, you know, flank and stuff and make plays and make stuff happen. And we did that, and helped us win a lot for this match.
I feel like you're a pretty versatile team. We've seen a lot of different looks from your team so far, and you're, you know, tip of the spear on all these kind of tanks. How did you feel about the different compositional matchups we saw, and what would you say is like your favorite composition to play with this team specifically?
I really like playing Orisa and May as of now, especially because some teams play Maga. And I just enjoy that because it's so easy to play Orisa. I think Orisa's super broken. And I think Chime's really, really good at May. He just hits like headshots. He's like just insane at that here. So we kind of are all just really well meshed on that Orisa comp. So that's probably my favorite by far.
And I'm curious, as you move on in the lower bracket, staying alive, are there teams that you, I mean, this is obviously like a huge performance for your squad. Are there teams that you're looking at in this bracket as like beatable? Where do you see you guys ranking? Like where are the teams that you're hoping to get upsets on as you continue on here?
I think we could be like a team like Citrus. I think they've won their match, so yeah, we could beat a team like them, but I think they're on the other side of the bracket, so we probably won't be able to play them unless we both make it all the way. I really wanted to beat TSM, especially because their flex support Renko left our team 20 minutes before roster lock, so I really wanted to play and beat them.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. I'm
They're
sorry
no
about
longer
that.
alive in the tournament, and
They're
you
no longer
are.
alive, exactly. Yeah.
Victory by elimination.
Yeah, I guess that means we're better. I don't know.
No, that's exactly what it means. That's how this works. Astro and Abercrombie, thank you both so much for joining us for a quick chat. Best of luck in your next match, and we can't wait to see more from you in the squad.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.